Hey, hi, this is Gautam. So Ola Electric Mobility, which is into the manufacturing of electric two-wheeler scooters in India, so it is going to hit the markets. So in this video, I would be discussing three things. Okay? So one is I would be discussing the requested valuation, Ola Electric's valuation relative to its both domestic and international peers. That's one. And two, I would also be discussing the market potential of electric two-wheeler scooters in India as to how can one go about estimating the market size, the opportunity for Ola electric scooters in India. So it should be helpful to any students or anyone who wants to learn this subject. And three is also I would be taking you to the outcomes of my DCF valuation of Ola electric mobility. All right. So I'm not a registered analyst. My videos are purely educational in nature. So, and it's certainly not to influence your buying or selling decisions. All right. Okay. And all right. So, and before we begin, just one thing. So, if you want to learn equity research or financial modeling, financial statement analysis, valuation, then please consider subscribing to my channel or just write to me if you have if you're looking for a guide or if you're looking for a mentor. I'll be more than happy to help you. All right. All right. So with that said, let's get started. Hope you learned something from this video. All right. All right. So now here I have the Ola Electric's valuation relative to its peers. So if you look at Ola Electric's electric two-wheeler market share, it's 35%. Okay? And then you have TVS Motors, you have Bajaj Auto, Hero MotoCorp. So Ola Electric has the highest market share. Okay? It's a pure play. It's electric two-wheeler manufacturer. Okay. Now, so the valuation that they're demanding, the enterprise valuation they're demanding is just under 35,000 CR. Yeah. And which is over 6 times its sales. And now, if you compare this multiple with the rest of the with the multiples at which its peers are trading at in India, you would see the valuation they're demanding is pretty steep. Yeah, perhaps owing to they have a highest market share, they are pure play, they are into EVs, and they have a long runway of growth that we'll touch upon in a bit. Yeah, but yeah, just if you just compare this multiple with all of its peers, you would see key 6.6 is pretty steep. Okay, now but having said that, if you look at some of the international players, you look at Tesla, BYD, okay, which manufacture EV cars, not like two-wheelers per se. Okay. So if you see Tesla, okay, so you would see Ola Electric is demanding almost the same valuation, same multiple as that of Tesla. Okay. And BYD is trading under its sales. Okay. So anyway, that this is quite interesting. But again, before you conclude that this Ola Electric is demanding a huge valuation, I just wanted to share just show you Tesla ka valuation as well. Okay, so if you look at this, if you look at this spreadsheet, yeah? So Tesla IPO'd back in 2010. All right, now back in 2010, it also had a negative EBITDA like Ola. Okay, now it took them 3 years since it IPO'd to generate a to turn an operating profit. Okay, and the EV multiples, yeah, the sales multiples, EV sales multiples that they were trading at then when they IPO'd, okay, were pretty rich, 21 times, 18 times, 20 times, 15 times. Okay, and now they're trading 6 times sales. Okay, so basically, yeah, and yeah, in between there were periods in which in which Tesla was actually trading at near six or lower than six multiples as well. Okay, so the valuation that Ola Electric is demanding is basically the current valuation, the current multiple of Tesla. And of course, since the time Tesla IPO'd, it has the sales was 117 million when it IPO'd, but now it's above 95,000 million. So it's around 95 billion. All right. So sales right now is 800x of the sales that they had generated when they IPO'd. So it's pretty significant. Okay? So if you look at the sales growth over the last 10 years, Tesla actually delivered a sales growth of 37% CAGR. All right. Yeah. So yeah, so that perhaps also justifies to a degree. I've not valued Tesla per se. This is just valuation on a relative basis. Okay? But you could see that the street was actually baking in a lot of growth. Okay? And they did deliver on quite a lot of that street expectation. Okay. All right. See, you can form your own judgment whether this with Ola Electric is undervalued, fairly valued, or overvalued. Yeah? And I'll walk you through the outcomes of my DCF valuation in a bit. Yeah? But given the intense competition in this space in India, yeah, on a relative basis, yeah, this multiple looks rich. Yeah? The valuation of any company is based upon the future opportunity that the company could capture. Okay? So it's very important that we understand how to size the market and then also form a view on what portion of that market could be captured by this company. All right. So I'll spend the next few minutes in trying to size the EV opportunity or the electric two-wheeler opportunity for Ola Electric. Okay? And if you're interested in learning how to size the opportunity, then I'll suggest that you stick on for the next 5-7 minutes. Or otherwise, if not, then you could perhaps just skip and just go to the last section of the video where I would be taking you through the outcomes of my DCF valuation. All right. Yeah. See, to value any business, essentially, you need 4-5 ingredients. Okay? The first one is that, as I said, you need to ascertain what's the market size. Okay? And then what portion of the market could be captured by the company. So you'll be able to ascertain the growth, that this company could, the rate at which this company could grow in the future. Okay? And then the profitability of the margin at which it would grow. Okay? And then what are the capital requirements or the capex requirements that are needed to attain that growth. All right. And then, of course, you need to discount that future growth into the present. All right. So I'm not getting into all these details, okay? But essentially, these are the 4-5 ingredients that you need to be able to value a business. All right. Now, in this video, in the section of this video, I would be talking about the market size. Yeah, how do you ascertain the market size? And then, based upon my understanding, based upon my judgment, what kind of what market size can this company capture. All right. So I'll be discussing these two aspects. All right. And then we'll get to the DCF valuation outcomes directly. All right. All right. So I have the RHP, I've pulled in the RHP document of Ola Electric. So if you see, okay, 2024, they sold over 3 lakh scooters, electric scooters, which is more than 100% of what they sold in the prior year. So this is like 35% market share. They have the highest market share, like we discussed just a while back. Okay. Now, they're just into electric scooters, but they have plans to launch electric motorcycles as well. क्योंकि अभी launch किया नहीं है motorcycle, so I'm just in this valuation and in this market share estimation, I'm just going to focus on the scooter का opportunity, electric scooters का opportunity, to keep things simple. Okay. All right. Now let's conceptually understand as to how you can go about estimating the market potential of electric scooters in India. Let's do that. See, to estimate the future demand or the market size of scooters or broadly two-wheelers, okay? So first, what we need to know is ki on road, how many two-wheelers are there? Okay? How many two-wheelers are there on road? Okay? See, because every year you're not going to buy a scooter, okay? Or a motorcycle for that matter, right? So I think back in India, we purchased a Honda Activa 10 years back. Okay? And my dad still uses it, and there has been no need felt to replace it or buy a new one. Yeah, obviously, but different households, they have different needs. Okay? So my larger point is, okay, you see, uh, a portion of these on-road two-wheelers would be replaced every year. This is going to drive demand of two-wheelers, plus new two-wheelers altogether will be purchased. ठीक है, तो सी एक तो पुरानी स्कूटर जो रोड पे हैं वो रिप्लेस होंगी, तो उससे डिमांड आएगी. Plus, households which already have scooters, they may feel the need to buy an additional scooter. They have a grown-up kid, उसको नई गाड़ी चाहिए, scooter चाहिए, तो they'll buy perhaps another one, or perhaps you have, as people have more incomes, they move up the income pyramid. Okay? So they may buy their first scooter or what have you, or motorcycle for that matter, whatever two-wheeler. Okay? So my larger point is that both a portion of the existing scooters on the road, two-wheelers on the road would be replaced, plus there'll be new two-wheelers bought every year. So both these two combined would actually drive the demand for scooters or two wheelers in India. तो ये दोनों दोनों फैक्टर्स हमें एवरी ईयर के लिए फॉर द नेक्स्ट फ्यू इयर्स एस्टिमेट करने हैं टू एस्टिमेट द टोटल डिमांड फॉर टू व्हीलर्स एवरी ईयर. Total demand every year. Okay. All right. Now, a portion of this two wheelers, because यहाँ पे we are talking broadly about two wheelers, a portion of this total demand of two wheelers would be scooters, and a portion of those scooters would be electric scooters. Okay? So इस तरीके से हमें estimate करना है. ये तो total demand हो गया. उसमें से एवरी ईयर कितने स्कूटर हो सकते हैं और उस स्कूटर में से एवरी ईयर कितने इलेक्ट्रिक स्कूटर हो सकते हैं. ऑलराइट. नाउ लेट्स use this to let's look at some numbers. Okay. See, I have the RHP. I've pulled up the RHP of OLA electric again. So here in this chart, I have the two-wheeler per 1,000 population of India versus global benchmarks. Okay? So if you see, India has 160 or two-wheelers per 1,000 people. तो इसका मतलब per 100 people there are 16 two-wheelers in India. And for some of these Southeast Asian countries, they have more two-wheeler penetration than India. And so the narrative that they're trying to drive through this chart is because ki India mein there is under penetration. So there could be more scooter ka penetration mirroring these Southeast Asian countries in the future. So that's the narrative that they're trying to drive in. Okay. All right. Okay. See, anyways, but what you can use this chart to estimate ki total two-wheelers kitne hain on road in India. How many two-wheelers are there on road in India? So it's very simple. See, you have like 140 CR plus people in India. Okay? All right. So this 140 CR people, let's say divide by 100 times 16 scooters per 100 people. So this would be around what? Around 22 CR something. So basically, this means you have 22 CRs, 22 CR two-wheelers on the road in India. That's what this. So you can use this chart to make this deduction ki kitne two-wheeler on road hai in India mein. Aur abhi you just saw ki this is what we need to start our estimation. Okay. Now let's move forward. All right. So here in this chart, I have the income pyramid. Okay. Household income pyramid. Okay. So if you look at this is 2023 and this is 2028. Okay. So income pyramid mein. So if you see the lower pyramid is lower income households which have income of less than 3 lakh. Then this is over 3 lakh. This is over 8 lakh. And the last, the upar wala, sabse wala, this is over 11 lakh. Okay. So if you see the income pyramid is getting inverted, household income pyramid is getting inverted in the next 4-5 years. Okay, so more and more people will be prosperous. All right. So agar hum ye dekhen, if you just think, you see people who would be purchasing a two-wheeler are likely to fall in the first 3 household ka category. Okay. So if you just sum up the total household ke numbers, so 4.1 CR hai, this is 6.8 CR, and then this is 10.5 CR. So total, the 3 households in the lower middle, upper middle, and higher income household category is around, I think, 21 CR something. Itte households hai. Okay. And then in the next 4-5 years, okay, these households would increase in number. So I think this is around 26-27 CR. Okay. All right. And typically, see, a bike, two-wheelers are purchased per household. Okay. All right. So my point being, these 21 CR people, 21 CR households, they would be the likely, or they are the likely purchasers of scooter of these two-wheelers. We just saw that 22 CR scooters or two-wheelers are on the road. Okay. तो इसका मतलब 21 CR में every household mota has a two-wheeler, which is like largely true in India, right? Every like lower middle to upper middle or higher will have a scooter on an average हर एक household में. तो अभी we saw कि 22 CR scooters हैं. तो on an average, every household in India has a scooter. Not talking about the lower income households, but उससे ऊपर के households. ये जो पहले 3. Okay. So जैसे as and when number of these households increase, Okay, so obviously the number of scooters also will increase. Okay, all right. So now let's make use of this number as well. Right. So we just saw the number of on-road two-wheelers in India is around 22 CR, 22.4 CR to be precise. Okay. And then what portion of them can be replaced every year? I say, assuming a two-wheeler typically has a life of around 10 years. Okay. All right. So that means every year 10% of the on-road two-wheelers are replaced. Okay. If the life of a two-wheeler is 10 years, then every year 10% of the on-road गाड़ियां on-road would be replace हो जाएंगी. ठीक है. तो रिप्लेसमेंट वॉल्यूम 10% हो गई इसकी. तो रिप्लेस क्या हो गया आपका 2.2 CR. तो ये हो गया 10% of this number, so it would be 2.2 CR. ठीक है. All right. Plus there will be some new demand coming in every year. Grown up kids, households moving up the income ladder, and what have you. Let's assume that next 4-5 years, perhaps the demand is what, around 50 lakh net new. ठीक है. तो ओवरऑल टोटल डिमांड क्या हो गया आपका, हो गया अराउंड 2.7 CR. ओके, ऑफ टू व्हीलर्स every, and if I show you something interesting. Recording in progress. So if you look at this, I've just pulled up the RHP document again. So if you look at this chart, okay, right now India may around 1.6 to 1.7 CR two wheelers sell किए जा रहे हैं. In the next 5 years, Rex year, what they say is India will be able to sell around 2.7 to 2.8 CR two wheelers. So our estimate of 2.7, I know I took a broad assumption, is around the same, is around the same number. ठीक है, कि इतने टू व्हीलर्स आप बेच पाओगे 2.7 CR. Okay. Now let's look what portion of these 2.7 CR number is scooters. Okay, and then what portion of the scooters are electric scooters. Okay, let's look at these two and we'll be done. In fact, in this chart, they have mentioned over 40% of the scooters of this 2.7 CR scooters, 40% of this 2.7 two-wheelers would be scooters. Abhi right now, 36% of overall two-wheelers are scooters, but more than 1/3 of two-wheelers are scooters. 5 साल में more than 40% of two-wheelers would be scooters. That's what they are saying. Okay, so as per them, 40, let's say अगर 40% ले लें of 2.7 CR two-wheelers, so it would be around 1.08 scooters by FY28. So that's what they are saying. Okay, in my model, I've just assumed, I've been a little more conservative. I've just assumed the same 36%. That is like 1/3, but that's fine. Okay, now let's see कि इनमें से कितने scooters आपके इलेक्ट्रिक हैं अभी और कितने फ्यूचर में इलेक्ट्रिक हो जाएंगे. Okay, all right. So if you look at this chart here, okay, electric scooter penetration in India. So what they're saying is 15% of your scooters are electric right now. ठीक है, 15% ऑफ योर स्कूटर्स जो भी मैन्युफैक्चर हो रहे हैं वो इलेक्ट्रिक हो जाएंगे, इलेक्ट्रिक हैं अभी. फ्यूचर में कितना होगा ये नंबर? This is an assumption, pure play assumption. I've assumed in my model that 33% of all the scooters would be electric in the next 5 years. Okay, this is an assumption. ठीक है, तो आपने 1.08 नंबर देखा था. Okay, all right. 1.80 CR का 33%, 1.08 scooters times 33%, मतलब 1/3 इसका. This is close to 36 lakh scooters, e-scooters बाय FY 28। ठीक है, आज की डेट में आज की डेट में लेस देन 10 लाख स्कूटर्स आर इलेक्ट्रिक। ठीक है, इन द नेक्स्ट 5 years वी आर मॉडलिंग की मोर देन 35 लाख, अराउंड 36 लाख स्कूटर्स विल बी इलेक्ट्रिक। तो 3-4 गुना स्कूटर्स वुड बी इलेक्ट्रिक। आज की डेट में लेस देन 10 लाख है स्कूटर्स इलेक्ट्रिक जो बिक रही हैं। आने वाले 4-5 सालों में 3-4 गुना ज्यादा हो जाएगी जो बिकेंगी एवरी ईयर। ऑलराइट, तो अगर if you talk about Ola, so let's say if they are able to retain their market share largely, okay, let's say इनका market share by FY 28, अगले 4-5 साल में it's like roughly around the same 33%। okay? तो अगर total if 36 लाख ई स्कूटर्स बिक रही हैं मार्केट में, ऑलराइट, सो 1/3 अगर ओला का खुद का मार्केट शेयर है, तो इसका मतलब ओला वुड बी एबल टू सेल अराउंड 12 लाख ई स्कूटर्स फ्रॉम 3 लाख टुडे। आज की डेट में 3 लाख स्कूटर बेच रहे हैं। द नेक्स्ट 4-5 years they'll be able to sell 12 lakh e-scooters. So that's what we are getting at. Okay, that is what I've used in my model. कि मार्केट साइज जो है आपका अराउंड 36 लाख ई स्कूटर्स का है। ओके, उसमें से ओला 12 लाख बेच पा रहा है। दिस इज जस्ट ई स्कूटर्स एंड नॉट मोटरसाइकिल्स। ठीक है, see, I don't think I've told you anything new, but I was just trying to tell you कि how do you use the data that's available to you to estimate कि future market कितना बड़ा हो सकता है and what portion of the market you can potentially capture। ठीक है, तो we looked at कि 36 lakh scooters could be sold in the next 5 years। Okay, and Ola, if it's able to retain its market share of 35-33%, then they'll be able to sell around 12 lakh e-scooters। All right, okay, and abhi they are on an average just selling one scooter for 1.5 lakh per unit। Okay, but now because they publicly have stated in the RHP that they would be getting into this mass, double dipping on this mass market, they will be focusing on mass market, so the price per unit per scooter should go down। That is also I've assumed in my model। All right, now I will just walk you through the output of my DCF model। ठीक है, all right, so I'm on the DCF valuation summary। Okay, so so if you see right now the market cap that they are demanding is around 33.5 CR। Okay, and the fair equity value that I've arrived at is around 24,000 CR। So which is so as per my model, okay, it's a little overvalued। Okay, but then I actually should not use the word overvalued. I'll tell you why. Because in my model, in my forecast, I have not factored in any contribution from motorcycles, okay, which are yet to be launched, and any export contribution. Okay, and export is a huge market. Okay, all right. In fact, TVS, Hero, MotoCorp, all the players in India, they have a sizable export market। Okay? They are exporting their non-EV internal combustion engine wala usual two-wheelers already। Okay, so Ola is yet to tap the international export market. So I have not baked that in my forecast। Okay, all right, but if I just bake in कि ये लोग अगले 5 साल में if they are able to, let's say, sell 12 lakh scooters, okay, all right, okay, by retaining a market share of 30% plus, okay, and also that the pricing declines, okay, slightly, okay, so I've used this to estimate revenue। Okay, in fact, it's 5 years, but I've actually gone on to estimate it for 10 years because I understand that 5 years is a very short time frame। Definitely, this is a decadal opportunity। Okay? And then the margin that I've assumed, you see, right now they are not making money. I've assumed in the next 5 years, they would make the same margin as TVS and Hero MotoCorp, which is 14% EBITDA, okay, from minus 20% today। Okay. In fact, they are investing into this giga factory, which will actually manufacture cells। ठीक है, तो वो cells खुद के cells manufacture करेंगे तो उससे उनका cost would come down। Okay, because they're trying to be more vertically integrated। All right, anyway, so and also another assumption I've taken is कि I've assumed कि इनके asset turns would increase from 1.5x to 2x। So based upon all these assumptions and without including any contribution of motorcycle and export ka sale. Okay. All right. I have given the, I've arrived at a fair value of around 24,000 CR. Okay. So I guess the undervalue or the shortfall would be definitely be justified by, the elements that are not included in my valuation. All right. But I could have included them, but again, I would have been piling assumptions on assumptions, and I didn't want to do that. Okay. Already, I have a lot of assumptions, so I don't want to like pile assumptions over assumptions. Okay. See, so that's why I feel the valuation right now may be a little steep. Okay. Competition certainly is heating up in this space. All right. So if I show you the P&L real quick. Okay. So if you go there, so right now this is all in millions, by the way. I have the P&L open. So right now the revenue in FY24 is around 5,000 CR. Okay? So based upon the assumptions that we just discussed, the revenue will become 3x. So it will be around 15,000 CR. Okay. Now, and right now EBITDA is minus 1,000 CR. So 20% minus 20% EBITDA. And at 14% EBITDA, okay, the EBITDA would be around 2,100 CR. Okay. And now, so here I have the screener open. So if you look at the EV EBITDA multiples of TVS Motors, Hero MotoCorp. So TVS is at 24. Hero MotoCorp is at what? 17. And if you look at Bajaj Auto is at 24 EV EBITDA ka multiple. Okay. So if I apply, let's say, multiple of 24. So if I apply multiple of 24 times EBITDA to this 2,100 CR EBITDA, so 24 times EBITDA in FY29. Okay. So what it means is and this is in millions. Okay. So basically divide by 10. All right. All right. So the enterprise value, if assuming that Ola trades at 24 EV EBITDA multiple 5 years from now, which is the same multiple at which TVS Motors, Bajaj Auto are trading right now. So assuming same multiple पे trade करता है Ola Electric 5 साल में. Okay. So the enterprise value will become to around 50,000 CR from the 35,000 that they've requested. Okay. So if you just look at return कितना होगा, again, just doing this quick math. Okay. So 1.5 times the stock will appreciate 1.5 times over 5 years. Okay. And then, so which is like 8%, CAGR over 5 years. This is assuming the stock trades at 24 EV EBITDA over 5 years. All right. Just to give you some perspective. And one thing I would say is that, as you can see, I wasn't able to justify the current valuation using the domestic scooter sale opportunity, at least for the next 10 years. Okay. So they're not leaving from valuation perspective. A lot of growth has been priced in already. Okay. But yes, yeah, if once they do foray into motorcycle sales and they get into exports, then I'll have a better visibility into what they're doing over there, and then I can bake those elements into my valuation as well. Okay. But yeah, for now, based upon my assessment, yeah, a lot of growth, as I said, is being priced in, and all right. But yeah, please do not take this as an investment advice. Okay? My videos are purely educational in nature. Okay? And so if in case you are you want this Excel sheet, I'll be happy to share this sheet with you. You can play around with my assumptions, and your assumptions may be totally different than mine. That's totally okay. Okay. All right. And you may end up with a higher valuation, and that's totally fine. Yes, so long as you are able to back up your assumptions and your guiding principles, that's totally fine. All right. This is just my view on based upon what I'm seeing in the numbers right now. All right. Okay. And so, all right, guys. If you found this content helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel. And also, if in case you want to learn equity research, valuation, financial statement analysis, financial modeling, please write to me, and I'll be happy to guide you and mentor you. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. See you. Bye.